cosmic belief is in all things, all life. Dragons, elves, trolls, fairies. They are with us now.
Good day to you, sir. Might you be the storyteller?
Good day to you as well. And yes, I am the teller of dragon stories.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Do you have new stories to tell?
The past few years brought adventures in strange lands, meeting people with great tales of dragons. So yes, I have new stories to tell. Where are you off to on this stormy day?
To the Rose and Crown for a pint of their fine ale.
Might I walk with you? My bones are chilled and my throat is parched.
This time of day should allow us good seating near the hearth. We can stay warm and dry, share good ale and friendship. Maybe you will grace me with a few of your stories.
That would be my pleasure. So remember, if the sky could dream, it would dream of dragons. And meddle not in the affairs of dragons, for thou art crunchy and good with brown gravy. Oh, but watch yourself tonight. The dragons will be dancing. Of course, beware when they dance. Everything shakes. The king's castle was beginning to crumble. The mountains were fall. The trees tumbled. And all the other animals were in fear. For tonight was the night that the dragons dance. The dragons make noise. On wings of thunder, honor bound, search me out. I drum the sound. Twist and turn in the night. Dragon come, my guiding light. Protector, guardian, friend, not foe. Come to me, see my sigil glow. Strong and true, this friendship charm. I beckon thee, keep me from harm. Around and around, your magic swirls come to me, your wings unfurled. My grandfather, the Earl, lives in a little small castle high up in the mountains, not far from a lake. One weekend he expected me to arrive early so that we could go fishing. I naturally obliged. That morning we caught a mess of fish. We came back to the castle. There we cleaned the fish and got it all ready to eat. Grandfather asked me, "Please go and get me a couple of dishes in the cabinet." Of course I did so, and I immediately noticed that those dishes were nasty. Oh, they were slimy. I said, "Grandfather, these dishes will not do." My grandfather says, "Well, you have to understand, I live way up here in the mountains. I have no way other than, let's say, cold water." I said, "Well, I understand." So that afternoon we had fish. And again that evening we had fish again. Of course, the dinner that night was again served on slimy, nasty dishes. Again I told Grandfather, and Grandfather again said that's the best that cold water can do. I said, "Okay, but now you know, Grandfather, we are out of fish. What are we going to do for breakfast in the morning?" He says, "Not to worry, we'll just go back to the lake and catch more fish." The next morning we awoke, grabbed our fishing gear, and started down the path. Almost immediately, I noticed from the corner of the castle a small dragon was charging at us. I said, "Grandfather, that's a dragon." He looked at me and said, "No, that's my pet. That's cold water." Here's an odd story. A dragon once fell in love with the farmer's daughter. The farmer probably thought what you're thinking, that all the dragon really wanted was a good meal. So the farmer went to bed to think it over. By the morning, he thought of a clever plan. "You are certainly a very handsome fellow," he said to the dragon. "There's nobody I'd rather have as a son-in-law. Just think, I won't need a scarecrow to keep the crows away with you around." The dragon laughed politely. "But you are a dragon, and my daughter's bound to be a little frightened. If you really love her, you'll pull out all of your teeth and cut off your claws." So the dragon, who really did love the farmer's daughter, did what her father suggested. But of course, as soon as his teeth and claws were gone, no one was frightened of him anymore. And the farmer beat him with a stick, and the villagers came, and they all helped to drive him away. The elves do tinker with hammer, chisel, and nails, crafting tools of magic to enliven dragon tales. There was a great rock just outside the village. Nobody knew how it got there. but the children played around it every day, dancing and climbing. One year the drought was so bad that all the crops did wither. There was no water. Nobody knew what to do. The children said, let us dance. Let us dance around the Dragon Rock. And so they did. And they kicked up so much dust that suddenly there was a loud achoo, and the children jumped back, afraid. And then they noticed that one of the paws had started to move, and the nose started to twitch, and then the tail started to move. Suddenly that great rock became a great dragon. The villagers heard the children and came running, only to hear the dragon sneeze again. This time the hillside split open and out came water, cold, clear spring water. It oozed, then trickled, then roared out of the hole and down the hillside. And along the valley floor, what used to be a dirty brown dust bowl was now a lake inviting all to share. Sighed the dragon sleepily. Seeing as I'm awake, I should enjoy a refreshing swim in the lake. The Dragon Rock lumbered down the hillside and into the lake, never to be seen again. But the children still play where a dragon once lay, to awake and bring joy to the village that day. There was once a silly old lion who felt ashamed because he was scared of chickens. Yes, chickens. Dragons are wise, thought the lion. Perhaps I should go and ask for advice. So he went to Draco the dragon. But while he was talking, Draco kept flapping his great wings. What's the matter with you? Said the lion. I'm sorry, said Draco, but I get so worried when gnats buzz around me. They terrify me. Really? Said the lion. Oh. And he walked away feeling so much better. Away with you, vile insect, the dragon said to the mosquito that was buzzing around his head. But the mosquito paid no attention to the greatest of beasts. Do you think he said to the dragon with a sneer that I am afraid of you? The next instant he flew at the dragon and stung him on the nose. Angrily the dragon struck at the mosquito, but only succeeded in tearing himself. Again and again the mosquito stung the dragon, who was now crying from frustration. At last, all worn out and wounded from his own teeth and claws, the dragon gave up the fight. The mosquito buzzed away to tell the whole world. But instead he flew straight into a spider's web, and there he who had defeated the greatest of beasts came to a sad end, the prey of a little spider. The villagers called a meeting to decide on a plan to free themselves of their enemy, the dragon. They wished to find some way of knowing when he was coming, so they might have time to run away. Indeed, something had to be done, for they lived in constant fear. Many plans were discussed, but none of them was thought good enough. At last a young boy stood and said, I have a plan. It seems very simple, but I know it will work. All we have to do is hang a bell around the dragon's neck. When we hear the bell ringing, we will know immediately that the dragon is coming. All the villagers were surprised that they had not thought of this plan before, but as they clapped and rejoiced, a village elder arose and said, "I will say that the plan sounds very good, but let me ask one question. Who will put the bell on the dragon?" A farmer had a little dog that he was very fond of. He would pat its head, take it on his knee, and feed it bits of food from his own plate. A dragon hiding in the woods often watched from behind a group of trees. The dragon was very jealous. He wished that the farmer would make him a pet. "It is not fair," said the dragon. "That dog only wags his tail and barks and jumps on his master's knee, while I spend all day chasing wolves and bears away." The dragon then thought to himself, "If I do all the things that dog does, maybe the farmer will make a pet of me." So the next day the dragon charged into the farmer's house with a loud roar and began wagging his tail, breaking everything that could be broken. Then the dragon tried to jump on the knee of the very scared farmer. The farmer shouted, "Help! I'm being attacked by a mad dragon." Men came running in and started beating the dragon with large sticks. They drove the poor unhappy dragon back to the woods, where he soon realized that doing all the things that a pet dog could do were never going to change him. "It is not fair. I guess I will just have to be happy with who I am." A long, long time ago, or so they say, there was a thief who nobody could catch. Everybody complained to the local wizard, but he was too lazy to do anything. Until the thief stole his favorite dragon-flavored cakes. He decided to set a trap. He made a magic potion and left it in an open window. He hid behind the curtains until a hand came in and grabbed the potion. The wizard listened. He went to the window and saw a little ant scurrying away. "That worked rather well," chuckled the wizard, and he went to bed. So today, remember to watch the ants closely, and you will see that the ants are running around looking for that magic potion so they could turn back into people. Hannah, the motherly hen, loved to hatch eggs. They were smooth and round to sit on, and after a few weeks, lovely little chicks popped out. One day, when she had no eggs of her own to sit on, she was wandering at the edge of the farmyard when she saw some eggs in a strange nest on the ground. Wonderful, she thought. These eggs look a little different from mine, but I'll hatch them all the same. She had only been sitting on them 2 or 3 days when her friend Hortense came by and screamed, "What are you doing, Hannah? Those are dragon's eggs. If you hatch them, all you'll get is a bite on your bottom." My Uncle Seamus is kind of a strange little guy. Dresses in green all the time. One day while walking down a path, a dragon jumped out from behind a tree. It scared Uncle Seamus. He immediately jumped behind a large tree and began shaking in his boots. The dragon just looked at him with a quizzical look in his eye. But Uncle Seamus had to think fast, and he remembered an old saying that music has the power to soothe the savage beast. So he reached into his pouch and pulled out his little flute. That flute began to play a merry tune. And you know what happens to dragons when they hear a merry tune? Of course, any good dragon, when he hears a merry tune, starts to dance, twirling around and spinning. And the dragon with a long tail begins to do strange things when he's spinning and jumping. Knots in his tail. And the more knots means the less he's able to do. That poor dragon found himself lying in the middle of the road, unable to dance anymore. Uncle Seamus just walked off and laughed. Soon I came along, and I saw that poor dragon lying there. And I took him into my arms, and I took him home. And that night I took the knots out of his tail, and we swapped stories, and in the morning we had waffles for breakfast. A man and a dragon once went on a journey. Each began telling the other how much stronger he was than the other. As they walked along the road, they passed a stone statue that showed St. George slaying the dragon. "There you are," said the man. "That proves that men are stronger than dragons." The dragon just smiled. "Don't be so sure, my friend. If we dragons knew how to carve, you would see more statues with a dragon slaying the man." A wee mouse was scampering one day. Before she could stop, she ran over the face of a sleeping dragon. The dragon snatched the mouse up in one great claw. "Please, Mr. Dragon, I know you're much bigger than me, but please don't eat me. Who knows, I might be able to help you one day." The dragon thought this was very funny. "After all, I've already had a farmer's cow and 2 sheep for supper, so I'm not hungry." Later, the dragon was caught by a group of villagers and bound with ropes to await the king's guards. He roared with misery A few moments later, the wee mouse came scampering up. I heard you call, she said. I'll soon get you out of there. All through the night, she chewed through the ropes, one by one, until the dragon was free. We sleep with the dragons in the hidden lair. We sing their call in our every prayer through our eyes. Their world is clear. Their forgotten song our heart can hear. They guide our way through the darkest night. We use their wisdom to give us sight. Through our voice, you hear their cries. The fire can be seen deep in our eyes. They are alive. Deep in our minds, in us the dragon you can find. The forest clearing abounds, a circle of creatures dancing to mysterious sounds. Two dragons lived on the banks of a river. The dragon that lived upstream caught fish by stretching his net across the river. Then he would beat the water with a long stick to make the fish swim into the net. But when he did this, the water became very muddy. The dragon that lived downstream became very angry. How can I live when you are always making my drinking water so dirty? You must stop catching fish that way. The other dragon became even angrier. Why should I go hungry just to stop your complaining? Meanwhile, a curious group of elves, sprites, and woodland creatures gathered to eavesdrop on the bellowing of the two dragons. They found it quite funny. Soon the arguing turned to fighting, and in the end, both dragons went to war and killed each other. So as time passed, the river became very calm, and the fish were left in peace. Oh Lord, who made the dragon and the dragon's open sky, and gave to me a dragon's soul, a dragon's urge to fly. Let me dance within your cloudscapes, far beyond earth's chain. Let me rejoice in my grandeur. Let me not grow vain. Let me vindicate my honor with my fang and claw. Let my raging heart show mercy. Let that show no flaw. Let me have the joy of all the shining gold I've stored. And let no pauper dragon go forth starving from my hoard. And Lord, should the need arise and I be called to fight, Dragon Maker, make me victor, and God help that knight. When the world was young, magic was everywhere. Wondrous beasts and creatures shared the world. There were dragons, unicorns, griffins, centaurs, and many more, including man. At first, man lived peacefully with the other creatures of the world. They shared in the bounty of the earth, taking only what was needed and freely given. As the years passed, however, a strange sickness began to spread through man. It brought with it hatred, greed, and a lust for power and control over the world around them. This sickness eroded the bonds connecting man to the creation. When the dragons learned what was happening, they journeyed to where man had gathered. They had hopes of curing the sickness and returning man back to lives of harmony and balance. When the dragons arrived, they saw they were too late. The sickness had spread. Now a great wall surrounded the city of man. As the dragons approached, they stopped and stared in horror. Adorning the gates of the city were the heads and skins of many creatures, including one of their own. Man had learned to kill for the sake of killing alone, with tears of shame and grief streaming from their eyes. The dragons turned and flew back to their homes. All the creatures chose to flee this world and the sickness carried by man. Those who could not flee were either enslaved or driven into hiding. Some were hunted into extinction. As the years passed, the numbers of man grew, and they soon covered much of the world. Creatures such as dragons became legend, then myth, and then fairy tales. Yet there still remain a few children of man who hear the tales and believe. It is these children of man who work as best they may to undo the damage done by the sickness. They dream of long, long ago when the world was young and all lived in harmony. They hope that that time may come again. If one is careful and searches the ancient forests, mountain caverns, storm clouds, lakes and rivers of the world, one may find the dragons are among us. Night is a night, all the dragons awake in their lairs underground to sing in very loud chorus and fill the whole world with their sound. They sing of the days of their glory. They sing of their exploits of old, of maidens and knights and of fiery fights and guarding vast caches of gold. Some of their voices are treble, and some of their voices are deep, but all of their voices are thunderous, and no one can get any sleep. I lie in my bed and I listen, enchanted and filled with delight, to songs I can hear only one time a year. The dragons are singing tonight. I find myself hard-pressed to remember more stories, good sir.
And I will not soon forget this day spent listening to the wonderful tales that you have already told.
You are most kind.
It seems a crowd has gathered to hear your tales.
Yes, I see. But alas, I must be on my way. I have many more roads to travel. I wonder if the storm has passed.
Let me see. All is calm now. Only a few clouds and the heather glistens in the sunlight.
So I take my leave now. I hope to see you again on my return. Good day to you, and all of you that stopped to listen as well.
Good day to you, my friend.